come on, man. Let's just cut down to the chase. It's Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
If it was Bill Clinton or Barack Obama, the Kingdom Hall would be full right now.
Correct.
I think Jehovah might be a Democrat. I think. I don't know.
It's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's...
Hello.
George, Jesse,
Hey, what's up?
how you doing?
Just. Hey, I have a.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I have a skin condition right on my hand. In my hand, I have a skin condition. It's like a psoriasis. It doesn't go away.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I've been using the Super Silver gel on my,
Yes.
and it doesn't cure it, but it's the only thing I know that really puts my psoriasis in place.
The
Yeah,
silver stuff.
it's the Super Silver one. The President of the United States announced that all the states have to open up the churches. They're part of they're essential. But I drove around and I saw a lot of small churches that were open.
Check this out in Yuma.
Mhm.
I mean, you grew up in Yuma. And so in my neighborhood, residential, it's all churches everywhere. Even the old Kingdom Hall from the 1950s and 60s, over there by the 449 Club.
Yeah, the Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, so there's about 10 churches around my residential area, just probably in about 3-block radius. Everything was low key. But out of 10 churches in my neighborhood, only 2 churches were closed. The Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses, I saw no car. And the Adventist Church across the street, the Southern Baptist Church. But I think they do evening, and I didn't go. So I think out of 10, only the Jehovah's Witnesses were closed. But really, 2 were closed. The Southern Baptist Spanish. But I think they're evening services, so I got to follow up.
What about the Catholic Church?
I got invited to the Catholic Church in San Luis, the San Judas Tadeo. I got invited to that church. They were open.
I know a lot of people, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that watch videos, they don't believe in, they're not churchgoers. But this is very important because it has something to do with churchgoers. It just, there's something bigger at play here.
Right.
What do you think it is? I have my idea.
I think, in the comments on the last video, some of the comments were so beautiful, and they were saying that, and I did speak about that, the Watchtower is going to go to an online religion. We know that. Number 1. Number 2, COVID-19 fits in perfectly in their plan. So let's say it's a win-win for Watchtower. They say they're not going to go to the church Kingdom Hall because Jehovah told them to caution on the side of air. And so they could blame Christendom if the numbers spike, which the numbers are going to spike because there's more testing. We all had COVID-19. We all had the antibodies. It's a coronavirus. It's been around a long time. So, of course, the numbers are going to go up. As we increase in testing, the numbers are going to go up. The news media is going to freak out. Watchtower is going to win. They're going to say Jehovah told them not to put their congregants in danger. And Christendom was so selfish, they wanted to go to church. That's what's going to happen. I read that from a comment on your page, and that was real good because they didn't like me. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes total sense. So maybe some of the commenters, they can leave a comment what's going to happen in their town. But I really do believe that comment is true.
I kind of agree. I think, like I told you, I always use that quote, right? Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. Jehovah's Witnesses are masters at creating fear, and by keeping everybody in hunker down, mentality, in the bunker,
right?
It suits their needs.
In the world, there's a saying: pioneers take the arrows. Pioneers take the arrows. And I think Rush Limbaugh talks about that. Pioneers take the arrows. Jehovah's Witnesses have pioneers, cult porters, whatever, but they don't take the arrows. They don't lead. Like Donald Trump is a pioneer. These little churches around our neighborhood are pioneers. They're taking the lead. Yes, we can get sick. Yes, we can be in danger. give up our right to worship. It's so funny because Jehovah's Witnesses call themselves pioneers, but they don't pioneer anything. They're not leaders in anything. And here's the thing. In every city in the United States, we're going to get to see it in the next couple of days. In the next couple of days, we're going to see if the Jehovah's Witnesses open up the Kingdom Hall. And everybody's going to see it. Like here in my town, it's on Avenue A, Avenue D, 5E. People are going to see if they have any courage or not. And something else beyond courage. We're going to see if maybe there's ulterior motives. Maybe they are going to an online religion like Kim and Mikey talked about. Now, Memorial Day is Monday. Do you think the elders are going to have a meeting? Here's the thing. When we were elders, like, for instance, I took care of the air conditioning system, the electrical system. If the Kingdom Halls were open, I would be up there cleaning them when I was an elder. I would be up there cleaning. At least I didn't see one single car. I didn't see a single person cleaning the Kingdom Hall getting ready. So I don't know what's going to happen in the next few days.
Well, I know Wednesday is going to be key, right? Because the governing body meets on Wednesday.
Let me ask you this. Okay, so Phoenix, they're up and running. Yuma, they're up and running very moderately, and very respectfully. So look, the Lutheran Church is about 2 blocks from my house, 2 blocks. But what I was thinking is, I think they told their congregation if they're elderly or if their immune system is compromised not to come in. And so that would explain why they're open for business. They have the sandwich cart, the signs out in the sidewalk that they're open, inviting people in, but the parking lot was not full. So they're being very, very, everybody is being very cautious in how their worship is. So the congregation is open, but couldn't the Jehovah's Witnesses in Yuma do the same thing? Or
couldn't some churches are saying, just do a drive-by, where people drive by and they can transmit via low-frequency FM and they can do it, like a drive-in theater. Yeah. Some places are doing that. But hey, I wanted to talk about something else. The news is reporting that a lot of people are getting very, very depressed in California, and that suicide rates, attempted suicide rates, had like quadrupled. And this thing that what Jehovah's Witnesses are doing by keeping them, in a hunker down mentality, I think it puts Jehovah's Witnesses at risk of suicide, because we already know that they're already a high prone to suicide group.
I hope not. And we better pray, all of us together. We better pray that doesn't happen, because being locked down has to affect the mental illness, mentally, because a lot of people probably think that Armageddon is here. I remember during 9/11, people were coming in. The Kingdom Hall, I was an elder at the time, and they were asking me if the Great Tribulation had started, if Armageddon had started. Correct. People were hurting. And so this has to drive people into depression. I didn't read that article. I saw the article about suicide being attempted suicide, but I didn't read the article, so I don't know anything about that. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. But yeah, you could see how people live in fear. Now, this is anecdotal. When I go to the store, when I go to Home Depot and Lowe's, I see the fear in people's face. Like, nobody says hello. We have social distancing, but I understand that we have social distancing. But that doesn't mean we can't say hello, good morning, after you, yes ma'am, thank you. Nobody says nothing. There's like an anger and a fear. And it's true. Along with the fear comes anger. Because I go out of my way to say, thank you, you're welcome, after you, yes ma'am, after you, let me help you. I try to be very cheerful, and they say, they're telling me F you with their eyes. Yeah. There's a lot of fear. Yeah, but listen, when I was an elder in the Spanish congregation in Yuma, an elder's wife told me, I'm so glad we don't have to think. Yeah. I swear to God, Gilbert, cursed be upon me if I'm lying to you. She said that we don't have to think. The Watchtower can do all the thinking for us. So yeah, we're dealing with a super, super, super mental retard in the Jehovah's Witness. They really think that they don't have to think. The Watchtower will do all the thinking for them.
You know what I've noticed that what Watchtower's not doing is they're not saying, hey, we're going to open up in South Dakota, we're going to open up in North Dakota, Wyoming, you know.
No, they're not.
No.
They thrown in with the leftists. They are completely non-neutral. They claim to be neutral politically, but no, they've thrown in with the left. They are communists or socialist Democrats, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I call them communists, but I could be wrong. They could be Democrats or socialists or progressives. They like the word progressive. It doesn't matter. It's still on the left side of the spectrum. For example, they say, well, Jesus wasn't involved in politics. We know that. We're not stupid. You don't have to preach that. But politics killed Jesus Christ. Politics will get you. You could be politically neutral, but politics will kill you. You can't be stupid. They say, we're not political. We understand that you're not political, but politics killed Jesus Christ, and politics will kill you. Jehovah's Witnesses are choosing to be on the left side of this issue. They are not politically neutral.
Correct, and they're acting political because if they were acting in like say a scientific using science, they would say, well, we're going to open up in South Dakota, we're going to open up in North Dakota. They would say we're going to open
in an isolated area where there's absolutely no COVID-19.
Correct, and still take the precautions. But they're not thinking that way. They have one mindset, and Jehovah's Witnesses leadership is hook, line, and sinker with the leader thinking of the World Health Organization.
Exactly. Now, well, the next couple of days we're going to see. We don't know. This is speculation. We're going to see by their action if they don't open the Kingdom Hall. So people driving down the street will see the Baptist church open or the Lutheran church open or the independent church open, but they'll see the Kingdom Hall closed. So they're going to have to act fast. Now, the COVID-19, I think, they have so much to think about because they were going to an online religion. They're going to an online religion, and all of a sudden they're able to open. So this might throw a wrench in their planning. I don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to find out. But I do know right now, by Sunday, not opening up today, that speaks volumes. They could have had the Kingdom Hall open. They could have had a volunteer army cleaning the Kingdom Hall, sanitizing. They could have done so. Everything needs to be. Yeah.
By not opening up, the Jehovah's Witnesses, it's possible, because one of the comments and other people are saying, the Jehovah's Witnesses are going into we told you so mode. We're giving you one final warning before the Noah's Ark closes. And so talk about, right now, I really think they might go into that card. We're not going to go door-to-door preaching because they can't because of COVID. And if they start saying, we're warning you, one last warning, I mean, talk about being hated. I mean, could you imagine, running around town telling everybody, this is your last chance?
Well, yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. So you're saying that they're contemplating telling everybody, like when we were kids in 1975, that the day was going to come when they were going to go door to door telling everybody it's too late?
Correct.
Wow. I don't know. Now, I noticed that some of your comments said that. Some of the comments on your last video said that. I don't know. I don't know if that we're going to see that in the next couple of days. But I do know right now they're choosing on the side of caution, and they might milk it for all they can. It doesn't matter what. If Christianity goes to the right, they go to the left. So right now, Christians and Jews and Muslims are free to open. They choose to stay closed. Yeah, but I do know right now they're playing politics. By not opening, to me, it was a political act. It was a political act. Because a Christian act would have been just go to worship. Mm-hmm. But the political act, by them not staying, that shows you that they're choosing, the Eric Garcetti. They're acting like Watchtower is acting like Gavin Newsom. Mm-hmm. They're acting like the mayor of Chicago. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're casting their lot with the progressives in the United States. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's not a surprise because the governing body calls themselves Jehovah's Chariot is a progressive organization, you know. So.
Yeah, they use the word progressive all the time. I mean, Hillary Clinton's a progressive. John McCain was a progressive. And then Watchtower says Jehovah's progressive. Wow, man. I mean, out of their lips, they say it. You know?
One thing that I don't understand is how it's going to play out is the Jehovah's Witnesses are not going to open up the Kingdom Halls. I know they're not. They're not going to. And
you don't think so?
No, and there's no preaching work. So follow me on this. So you're a Jehovah's Witness. Everyone is going to church. You're still in a hunker down mentality. And you're not allowed to go door to door preaching, you know, because you know you can't go door to door preaching right now, because people would start yelling at you because you don't have a mask, you know. But that's not the point. So imagine the psyche that's causing on a Jehovah's Witness. So a Jehovah's Witness is saying, "Oh my God, they must be in complete mental breakdown. They have to be totally afraid because." They can't go door to door. They can't go to the meetings. They're stuck at home. This can't be a good recipe for mental health if you're a Jehovah's Witness.
Right, and they heard the president say that they can go to church. Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. The next couple of days are going to be key because they heard the president of the United States say that churches are open. Mm-hmm. It's an essential part of the United States. It's enumerated in the Constitution, First Amendment to the Constitution. The governors have no right to shut down the churches. Now, the World Health Organization, the CDC, can do it, but they're not American, so they have the right to shut down our American freedom.
Correct.
But no American has,
So if a Jehovah's Witness is listening to this, and you say, hold on, he's watching the news, he knows that the president says open, and then he goes and tells the elders, hey, we can open up. The elders are going to say, no, we can't open up. He goes, well, hold on.
And that's, you know what, that would be grounds for dissolution thing right there, with some of the fanatic elders.
If the publisher keeps pushing and pressing, and you have to think, if you're a Jehovah's Witness elder, you know, hey, we got the green light, we can do this. Naturally, your field soldier elder, you know, he's just a pawn, but he's gonna hear the news. Let's open up for business. The president says it's okay. You have elders of Jehovah's Witnesses that probably are eager to open up. And now you have another set of elders in the same congregation. It's divided, that want to keep things, they want to stay home.
Right, because the virus is biological. The fear is political. I would grant to say that if, come on, man, let's just cut down to the chase. It's Donald Trump. If it was Bill Clinton or Barack Obama, the Kingdom Hall would be full right now.
Correct.
They love Barack Obama and Bill Clinton, Fidel Castro. They have a hard-on when they hear Fidel Castro. I mean, you go to the Spanish congregation, talk about Fidel Castro, you see everybody's pants going up. I mean, they got a hard-on for communist Fidel Castro. So, because it's Donald Trump, let's just cut to the chase, saying that the churches are open. They're not going to open. They're not going to open. They're going to do it out of spite. So, I mean, that's just the world we live in. They're not going to open it. So they're going to, but they're going to say that Jehovah told them to stay closed. They're going to err on the side of caution, and the numbers of COVID are going to go up. And I think that's what you're seeing with a lot of the Democrat politicians, the leftist politicians. They're just dying in the news media. They're just dying to see the numbers go up so that they can say, see, I told you so. Yeah. I don't think it's a great tribulation. I think it's the great politicization. They're politicizing everything. This virus has a political component.
Correct.
It's dividing people into fear. It's dividing people into red state, blue state. I think Jehovah might be a Democrat. I don't know. But from what I'm seeing is he's giving information to the Jehovah's Witnesses that keep him away from freedom, keep him away from the First Amendment right. Kind of like Gavin Newsom. So the God of the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, I think, is a Democrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a Democrat.
Yeah, he smells like one, he sounds like one, he acts like one, and he obeys.
Which is good. Yeah. Which is good and bad. I understand that. But this lie that they're politically neutral, don't say they're political. Everything is political now. Everything is political. Look at California. California, Gavin Newsom has everything closed. Even the beaches are closed. It's political. It has no science. There's no science behind that.
Yeah, there's no science about you can surf but you can't swim. Yeah.
It's political.
It's political. Yeah.
There's a political component. Like Oregon, they said they were going to open after July 6th. Why? Because July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
July 4th. Everybody knows that July 4th is a very patriotic, which runs with republicanism.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can shut down July 4th, they could shut down republicanism in their state.
And you know it's political because if Watchtower really was following the science, they would be opening up in the different pockets all over the United States that don't have COVID.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they talked about that the ministry was the most important thing in their life. If it was the most important thing in their life, then they would take this opportunity, this window, and start preaching. But they're not. They hunker down in fear.
And speaking of that, if they're preaching, whatever happened to them preaching outside, they can't go door to door. Well, if that's the case, if they can't go door to door preaching, then why aren't they standing in the street corner? You know, with no literature, you know, because you have a 6 foot, you know, distancing. So why don't they just stand at the street corner and with a sign that says JW.org? You know, sign the Times or something.
Well,
no, they're not. They're not serious about preaching. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
You know, they're on unemployment rolls right now. You know, they're giving a break from the preaching work.
Well, do the math. The leftist politicians or the progressive politicians are closed for business.
Mm-hmm.
The Jehovah's Witnesses are closed for business. You said that there's no coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it a coincidence that the Jehovah's Witnesses are siding with leftist progressives?
No. We know that.
Yeah. Now, if there was a state where a scientist says, look, there's no COVID in this county, why can't they be open? But they're not even doing that. They're siding completely lock, stock, and barrel with leftist politicians. All right, Gilbert. We'll talk to you later, man.
Okay.